It seems like every election cycle in the US, there's a lot of buzz around things like mail-in voting
They're being discarded. They're finding them in piles. It's going to be a catastrophe.
or voting machines.
Dominion had sued Fox for $1.6 billion, accusing Fox of spreading lies and conspiracy theories about its voting equipment.
Often with claims of voter fraud making headlines. But did you know that some countries have election practices that are way more unique? Today we're diving into 10 wild election practices from around the world, and trust me, some of these are truly mind-blowing. Let's kick things off in The Gambia, a small country in West Africa where voters use marbles, glass marbles, to cast their ballots. You heard that right, no paper ballots or electronic machines here. Instead, Gambians cast their vote by dropping a glass marble into a metal drum representing their chosen candidate. Each candidate has their own drum marked with a color and a symbol, and when the marble hits the bottom, it rings a bell. That's the sound of democracy. The bell lets everyone know the vote has been cast, and the marbles are hand counted after the polls close. It's simple, secure, and pretty creative, right? What do you think? Would marble voting make elections in the US more secure? Write it down in the comments below right after hitting like and subscribe buttons. Next up, Mexico. If you're planning to vote, don't expect to grab a drink afterward. Mexico has a law called Ley Seca, which means dry law. During elections, the sale of alcohol is banned to keep things calm and voters clear-headed. And Mexico isn't the only country to do this. Countries like India, Thailand, and Brazil also have similar restrictions on election day. It's all about ensuring a smooth, peaceful election process. So if you're thinking of celebrating right away, better save that drink for when the results are in. Cheers to responsible voting. Now let's jump to Texas. Any space lovers watching? You'll love this one. Did you know Texans can vote from space? Yep, if you are an astronaut from Texas, you can still participate in democracy while orbiting 200 miles above Earth. It started in 1997 when Texas passed a law allowing astronauts to vote from space. NASA sends a secure digital ballot to the International Space Station, and astronauts cast their votes through a secure email back to Earth. How cool is that? Voting while floating in zero gravity? Texans truly take voting to new heights. From space, we head to the Vatican, the smallest country in the world. When it's time to elect a new pope, the process is super secretive and ancient. It's called the Papal Conclave, which literally means locked with a key, where around 120 cardinals gather in the Sistine Chapel to cast their votes. Each cardinal writes the names of their chosen candidate on a slip of paper and drops it into a chalice. If no one gets a 2/3 majority, the ballots are burned and black smoke rises. But if a new pope is chosen, white smoke signals the decision to the world. It's one of the most fascinating election processes you'll ever hear about. What do you think? Should more elections have that level of tradition and secrecy? Now, from ancient traditions to cutting-edge technology. We land in Estonia, where they've taken voting fully digital. Estonia is the first country in the world to offer nationwide internet voting. Since 2005, Estonians can cast their votes from the comfort of their homes using their ID cards or mobile ID for authentication. It's secure, convenient, and you can even change your vote as many times as you want before the deadline. Talk about flexibility. Estonia is showing us what's possible when technology meets democracy. Should more countries adopt e-voting? Let us know in the comments. Next, we're taking a look at Israel, where they've kept it simple with voting cards. Instead of marking a ballot, voters choose from a set of cards, each representing a political party. They pick their card, pop it in an envelope, and drop it in the ballot box. Easy, right? It's a straightforward system, especially for a country that votes for parties rather than individual candidates. What do you think? Could voting cards simplify things in other countries? Let's hop over to Belgium now, where voting isn't just a right. It's a legal requirement. That's right, Belgium, along with countries like Australia and Brazil, has compulsory voting. If you don't vote, you could face a fine or penalty. It sounds intense, but these laws lead to impressive voter turnout, sometimes over 90%. The idea is to make sure elections truly reflect the will of the people. What do you think? Should voting be compulsory everywhere, or is it better to leave it as a choice? Speaking of making voting accessible, Australia has a cool system where certain people can vote by telephone. Voters with vision impairments or those in remote areas can cast their vote over a secure phone line. They speak with an official who helps them submit their vote confidentially, and it's recorded electronically. It's private, secure, and makes sure that everyone can participate. Should more countries offer telephone voting? Now let's take a quick detour to France. In the run-up to their elections, You won't see any last-minute polling results. Why? France has a law that bans the publication of election polls up to 48 hours before the vote. The idea is to give voters a break from the constant predictions and let them decide without being swayed. Supporters say it helps keep things fair, while critics argue voters need access to information. Where do you stand on this one? Finally, let's wrap things up with New Zealand, where on election day, you won't hear a peep about politics. They have something called election silence, which means on voting day, all election-related talk is banned. No campaign ads, no political posts, and definitely no last-minute debates. It's designed to give voters a peaceful day to reflect before heading to the polls. Could you imagine a day of total silence during US elections? So there you have it, 10 of the most unique and fascinating election practices from around the world. Which one surprised you the most? Did we miss any cool voting systems? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. Thanks for watching.